Hey guys, it's me again. Just a really brief rant today, as usual. And let me cut straight to the chase. Um, I want to challenge those professing Christians, those who insist that we all get into politics and that America needs Jesus and that we all need to quote unquote turn back to God, this country anyway. I have a challenge for you. And yes, this is a repeat of many of my previous videos. I know I'm a broken record, but again, let me just ask you a question and please answer me. Please define a specific period in American history in which you can confidently say that this nation was quote unquote turned to God. Are you talking about the 80s when Reagan was president? Maybe when the country just started with George Washington? I mean, seriously, please define it. You keep saying that America needs to turn back to God, but what does that mean exactly? How do you define that? As I've asked many times before, does that depend on who's in the White House, in Congress, in the Senate? Does it have to do with the population? Does there have to be a certain percentage of elected officials that are born again Christians? Is there like a certain percentage of the population that need to be born again in order for this nation to be a Christian nation? How exactly do you define that? And how can you declare that, yes, America has finally turned back to God? We are once again a Christian nation. And again, have we ever been that nation? And can you specify that time period? And what are your reasons? The real answer is you can't. Because there's absolutely no way you can. Look into people's hearts. And the best thing you can do is look at, you really can't. It's all in your head. Even when America was quote unquote conservative, or more conservative than it is now, was it really a Christian nation then? See, the problem with Christian nationalists, even though they don't admit that they are, is I don't think they're truly born again. I believe that Christianity is just part of their patriotism, their culture. And, it probably goes with their conservative values, but the bottom line is we are late in the game. And if your hope is in this world, if it's in a politician, if what you're praying for is for this nation to be quote unquote restored to whatever glorious state you imagine it to have once been, then I would strongly urge you to examine your heart to see if you're truly of the faith. Because it's very late in the game, and our only hope is Jesus. And what I mean by that is being rescued by the Lord, getting raptured out of here. And as I've said before, no, this country does not, quote unquote, need Jesus. Yes, individually, people need Jesus. We need to preach the gospel. People need to get born again, or else they'll end up in hell. Yes, that's always the bottom line. But as a nation, you need to stop applying God's promises to Israel to the United States as though the Lord has a covenant with the U.S. He does not. Yes, I'm a broken record. I've said this many times before, but yeah, it's worth mentioning again. We are late in the game. What do I mean by that? We are close. How close? I don't know. But it's very close. And I believe, as I've been saying a million times over the past year, that we need to go directly to the source, which is Jesus, for that direct revelation of when the day and the hour of our rescue will be. I'm talking about the rapture. And as I've said countless times before, nobody knows the day or the hour. Has nothing to do with the rapture. And I believe that we can absolutely know the day and the hour, and it will come directly from the Lord. He will reveal it to us. I believe we are that generation, and we just need to keep looking up. Crowns await those of us who truly long for his appearing. And as I've said before, I really don't know what the big deal is about getting crowns. I don't really care about having a shiny metal thing on my head. It's not that big a deal to me. But for whatever reason, Paul makes a big deal out of it, so it must be a big deal. So keep looking up, guys. Do not lose hope. Do not be discouraged. We are at the very last days, and crowns await us. And it's just in the character of the Lord to make a grand entrance. That's just how he is, and he deserves a grand entrance. You know, when the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, you know, God basically led them to a dead end before opening up that Red Sea for them. The Lord could easily have opened up the Red Sea way in advance, so that when the Israelites got there, they just had to walk across. But no, the Lord led them to a dead end, to a place of hopelessness, to a place of total despair, so that they can cry out, and that they know that there's no other way out but the Lord. And I believe that's the same position the Lord is putting us at these days. We're at the very last days. If you're despairing, embrace that despair, because that's how you know that you're truly watching. If you're hoping that the elections this November is going to make the world a better place, make your life a little better, then your hope is misplaced. If you truly belong to the Lord, you will long to be with him. This world has nothing for you, no matter what kind of fun activities you may have in store, you know, for your immediate future. You know, there's a couple of video games that I'm waiting for, I'm really excited about, but I don't really care. The Lord can come get us now. This world has nothing for me. This world has nothing to offer that's better than being with the Lord and being finally granted that glorified, incorruptible, immortal bodies at the rapture. So keep looking up, guys. I know it's discouraging. Do not be discouraged by the failed high watch dates that these self-proclaimed watchmen keep coming up with. You know, they just want the clicks, they want the monetization, they want the donations. Ultimately, the enemy is using them to discourage us from looking up. But do not listen to them. Go directly to the source, which is Jesus. Read the scripture. Just pray for direct revelation. And do not limit the Lord in how he can grant us that revelation. There's a time and place for sola scriptura, as a lot of wannabe scholars like to say. But prophecy isn't it, especially when it comes to the rapture. Do not limit the Lord. Open your minds to his revelation. He can speak to us in dreams and visions and many other ways. So that's all I have to say for now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Keep looking up. I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully there won't be a next time.